It's your best love, storyteller, myself, preacher, the storyteller. Do you really read?
Alright, it's your best love storyteller, myself, preacher, the storyteller, and I'm here with the one and only
Murray.
So Murray, we've been talking, and now that I've got the camera on, now we've got the camera working, I want to ask you your personal opinion on, well, it's not even an opinion, it's more just to find out, when was the last time you read?
Probably a few months ago. It's more forced reading when I've been forced to learn and read something about books, studies, A-levels, English, everything like that, instead of actually going out of my way and buying a book and reading.
My question, so the book that you was forced to read, do you remember what it was about?
It was, well, I had to read Macbeth, Shakespeare, and I also had to read Dead Dog in a Suitcase.
Dead Dog in a Suitcase?
Yeah.
Well, there's a dog barking, so I don't think the dog likes the fact there's a dead dog in a suitcase. So I take it you was forced to read, or you was told to read as part of the syllabus for school and what you're learning. I take it you're learning to become an actor?
It's more just it's the assigned book my school have chosen, but I've got no real interest in acting or anything. But it's like it's not much choice or freedom in it, so it just limits your like whether you're going to enjoy it or not.
And does that make you want to read more? Does that make you want to learn to read more? Does that make you...
Particularly when it's something you haven't had your own choice in, rather than just being able to choose what you want.
So if I now said you've got a choice, what was the last book you had your own choice to read?
Probably Fahrenheit 419, I think.
Oh.
415.
What's that about?
It's where books are banned, but unfortunately just the timing, I just never got to finish it. But it was about where they were banning all books in this like utopia, like weird society, and they were burning all books.
I love that. Okay, so
By George Orwell. It's really
Who was it by, sorry?
George Orwell.
Who was it by, sorry?
George Orwell.
You heard it, George Orwell. A dystopia. I'm messing up. Edit that out. And a book about dystopia. Edit that out as well. A book on dystopia about the love of books.
Yeah.
That's unique. So if you was to choose any kind of storyline that would make you continuously want to read, what would be your storyline?
I feel like it's something that's quite far away from reality. It's like an escape, somewhere that you can get out of your comfort zone and like find something like new that you've never thought of, and that someone's expressed in a book. It just makes it really exciting.
So if I've listened to you well, it's not a case of you don't even like to read. You actually like to read, but you like to read a book that you want to read.
Yeah, exactly. It's not about like being forced in. It's just when you've got your own choice and exactly what you want to read, I feel like it's quite enjoyable.
Thank you.
Yeah, timing just makes it difficult because although books are great to wind down with, it's hard to find the time.
Elaborate.
I just feel like, unfortunately, like you'd rather be on your phone for that extra 20 minutes before you go to sleep rather than reading a book.
But then my question to you is, do you read posts? Like if somebody was to make a reel, would you read the post about what that reel is about?
Oh yeah, completely. And it's a case of instead of reading a paperback, if I saw something on TikTok, for example, and I was following the story through there, then yeah.
So in a sense, you'd still read a story just if it was easily digestible in a right format for you. If a story was on TikTok for you, as opposed to on a hardback, it'd make it more easier for you to read.
It just makes it more accessible and like easier to, and you also get that like dopamine kick as you're on your phone and you're scrolling, rather than like a paperback form.
You've given me something to think about. Murray, you're dope. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You hear that? If you don't like to read a hardback book, that doesn't mean you don't like to read. It just means you haven't found the right format for you. Take it from Murray. If you want to read, find the right format for you. And the thing about you said about the forcing to read, spot on, because that's what a lot of kids, that's why a lot of kids grow up and hate reading.
It's like English literature, you've been forced, you've got 3 books your school can choose from, they choose this one book that you can write the best about. It's so boring.
But then, it's almost like, how do you know what a child wants to read? Just because you put that on the syllabus,
exactly. Yeah.
doesn't mean it's what they want to read. And you almost, without realising it, you make children hate reading. But it's like, you almost stop kids loving reading because you haven't asked them, what do you guys want to learn about? What do you want to read about?
At such a young age, you're being like forced into books. Then you realise, I don't enjoy this. Then you think it's the whole reading's not really your kind of thing, because you've learned at such a young age when you're learning about yourself and everything. You just get put off.
What do you do, if you don't mind me asking? Like, what do you study?
I study A-levels, and I do chemistry, economics and maths. And I'd say partly what put me off any like Englishy is the fact how like narrow like the options are with most of it.
Okay.
So for example, my girlfriend also does English, and they've been given one singular book they write about, instead of them each individually choosing. Although actually I do think they choose their own book for part of it.
Okay.
And I feel like that's probably the part they enjoy the most.
When they get to choose your own book, that
book that they can write about, where the school hasn't forced
you, and you're letting your mind think, and it's almost like the school's opened the door and said, you walk into your own creativity, you find what you want to read. But you said something that I want to kind of challenge you on. You said you're studying chemistry, that's your thing, but you're not really a fan of the English kind of literature. If now there was a detective who was solving let's say a murder mystery, and the killer was using chemicals and basically the detective needed to use chemistry to solve what the killer was going to do next. As you're reading that, you as well are also testing your own knowledge on equations, would that make you now want to read the book more? Because now it's mixing in chemistry with a crime thriller as well. I know I explained it rubbish as a storyteller, so I apologise for that. But if that mixed thriller and chemistry, would that draw you in?
I think so, because the thought of you'll be something that you learn or slightly enjoy is incorporated in something slightly new, like a newer element of a crime thriller, which I've never really read. I think so, because it's like a sense that if you know you're reading something like you're comfortable about, that you're aware of and you understand, if it's incorporating new aspects in the form of like a crime thriller, then I feel like it just makes it easier to read.
You may love romance.
Yeah.
It could be a whole romance between. Could that work though, having a romance between chemicals? Between chemical equations?
The hormones or something? I don't know, the chemistry of the hormones? The makeup, or I don't know.
But once again, it's a question that I don't think enough people ask of, how can we mix one love from children with another love from children to get them really loving the whole idea of reading and not feeling that reading just has to be done from books. It can be even a conversation. You could have someone who knows a book and just has a full-blown conversation without even realising it. We could be talking about Romeo and Juliet.
And it's like a conversation if you were speaking about something like that. Instead of reading, it's quite different.
Yeah.
Like speaking to someone about a love romance, for example, like a gossip or rumour that's happening at school or something like that, then that's almost like a book, I guess, and people are really, really interested in that.
You've just given me a great idea. How about you get a group of 5 to 10 people. We've all read a different book, but the whole session is about us gossiping about that book. Like, could you believe I heard that he snuck into the party, he's not even meant to be there, and then you start gossiping, well, I heard that dad jumped over the wall just to steal a rose, and now his daughter has to go and work for this villain, and he's not even a villain.
Because I feel like the sense of if you're learning it from someone or bouncing it off someone, I feel like you'll enjoy it more. Because also you've also got to pay attention to the person you're speaking to, otherwise it could just become rude.
Yeah. This is dope. Guys, I'm gonna throw you a curveball. When you can, go to your friend and gossip about a story you have read. Don't tell them the story, just gossip about that story and see their reaction. If you watch Bluey, go home and gossip about Bluey, gossip about Bluey. I've been Preacher the Storyteller. This has been Murray. Read a book. Bro, do you wanna